Hello and welcome to a scene for Hong Kong House of Cards. Today, Adam was trashing his new colossal. He was setting fire to his bed and his clothes and breaking the desk and sledgehammering the walls and the stairs and the floor of his bedroom and generally causing a lot of damage. And as he did so, he shouted out in frustration and pain to Gaia and to Luna, asking for comfort and wisdom to soothe his unending pain and to teach him how to be a good kinfolk. And Luna and Gaia, being the busy spirits they are, sent someone to deal with the situation. And having the good timing that she did, she took him midway far as he traveled to Japan to run among the hills and to spend time away from his friends and his family so that they would not have to suffer his despair. Instead of waking up in the rolling and lovely forests that he was expecting, the forest he ends up in is significantly darker and more frightening. And as much as Adam is usually immune to fear, doesn't seem to be the case right now. And he is more frightened than he can remember being in his entire life since he was a small child. And there is a roar off in the forest, a very, very frightening roar. And it is at this point he realizes that he currently is a small child, or should I say, a young cub, because he is in cougar form, but small and fuzzy and slightly ungainly.
Okay.
And that is where we start our scene.
Oh joy.
It's a very, very scary roar in the distance.
Nobody's looking at me?
Nobody's looking at you.
Cool. I'm going back to human. I want to go human.
You're trying to.
Yep. Trying hard.
You
Close
you
his
are
eyes.
stuck in cougar cub. In fact, you're trying so hard to stand up that you actually end up falling onto your back for a moment and then rolling back onto your floor.
Okay.
There's another roar and it's closer. The woods are looking really scary.
Can I get some intelligence perception to discern what kind of animal it is?
You can get a perception survival.
Perception survival is not going to be very nice to me because I have no survival. 3 dice, please.
Oh yeah, I forgot I need to roll your dice for you.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That is beautiful.
It is feline.
Okay.
And it sounds like how you would imagine a saber-toothed tiger would sound.
Okay. Male or female? Can I discern that?
I don't think you can discern that at the moment, no.
Okay.
All you can tell is it sounds angry.
Okay, cool. Perk alert. 4 dice. Sweet. What I'm looking for specifically is a hidey hole.
There are no hiding holes.
There are no hiding holes. Okay.
None.
Adam being Adam, having lost touch with being what he is. Actually, at this point, going to do a very human thing and reach for the warhammer. which isn't there, I'm assuming.
No, because you're in cougar form.
Hold on, cars.
Yep, it is not
Okay.
there because you're in cougar form.
Right, right. I assumed as much. And because of whole cloth, it shifts with him when he
Mhm.
shifts. So yeah, he is doing what he instinctively does in situations where shit's all fucked up and reaching for a weapon and cursing himself at this point because, well, I don't have opposable thumbs.
Nope, you do not have opposable thumbs. You do not have a weapon. And it is getting closer and scarier
Okay.
and hungry sounding. And you're a tiny cougar kitten.
Okay. Um, is there shit? I'm in cat form. I have night vision. Is it dark?
It is dark, but you can, with your cat vision, see.
Okay.
What you can't see
Um,
very far because there's lots of trees.
I'm gonna roll Dex Stealth.
Okay.
Give me 1 second to pull up cat stats because I have specific stats. Animal affinity. Dex 3, Stealth 3, please.
Okay. Nope.
Oh, fuck. Okay, cool.
And there is a absolutely ginormous tiger padding towards you, and it can clearly see you.
Okay, cool. Um, I need the layout of the land. I need the environmental layout. And I know there's lots of trees, but I'm looking for like some
They're
sort of
all
like
very tall,
downed log.
very they're all very tall, very hard to climb, but with great big roots that make it difficult to run.
Okay. Um, is there a downed log I can go into because this thing's big and I'm not?
Nope.
Okay. Is there some sort of route I can crawl under to try and get this thing to play chase the cat?
Nope.
Okay. So my only option is to run at this point, unless I want to face this thing down.
Pretty much.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna roll a Dex, Athletics, and Ready in action.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Mountain Lion form, Dex 3, Athletics 3. 6 dice, please. And the ready to action is when it goes to pounce, I am jumping over it and clawing the shit out of its face as I jump over it.
Well, you're not getting very fast because it's hard climbing over these giant roots. But as much as you get the feeling that this tiger is chasing you, at the same time, it doesn't actually seem to reach the point where it's pouncing on you.
Okay.
It is terrifying because it feels almost like it is right behind you. It's just about to pounce on you, and it's just about to pounce on you, and it's still just about to pounce on you. And your heart is pounding away in your tiny little chest.
Mm-hmm. At that, Adam's going to reflect on any time he's been scared. And he will stop and he will turn around and he will do the only thing he knows how to do in a situation like this and let out the cutest little like fucking cougar roar that he can, like kind of the chihuahua who starts barking at
Yeah.
the thing that is immensely big. Yeah,
And the
kind of
tiger's going
the
to
the
roar
I will
right
not be
back in your
bullied.
face. The tiger's going to roar right back in your face, and it's going to blow all the fur back on your face because its roar is very loud. It's the kind of
Okay.
a little ringing in your ears afterwards.
Okay. Now that I can see this tiger, male or female?
Female.
Female. Okay. Um. Okay, I'm gonna back myself into a tree.
Mm-hmm.
so that I have nowhere to go.
Yep.
And again, readying in action. As soon as this thing gets close enough to where it can make a misstep, I'm gonna, run forward underneath it because it is immensely bigger than me.
It is.
And I'm going to, when it gets close enough. But up until that point, he's kind of like on edge, hair standing up at this point.
And the tiger's getting closer and closer. And you see your opportunity to run under it.
Taking it.
Okay. Dex Athletics was 6, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you make it between the legs. And you're at the other side. What do you do?
Going.
Yep.
Going. Trying to find a hidey
right
hole.
Behind you.
Trying to find a hidey hole.
It's right behind you. Is it just about to bite you at any moment?
Stopping.
It's still just about to bite you at any moment. You're
Stopping.
Tiny
letting
cat
the thing
pounding.
Stopping, preferably letting the thing overshoot.
It knocks you flying, rolling head over heel.
Oh, jeez. Okay. That did not work out.
It stopped by kicking you.
Nice. Okay.
But
can I get Dex Athletics to regain my momentum and keep going with the roll?
It didn't hurt. You just went because everyone knows kittens, even cougar cub kittens, are clearly made of the same stuff as bouncy balls.
Right? Right? Cats, they do this thing.
Yep. So you're like head over heels, bounce for a couple of meters, and then you kind of stand up, and you can't like stand up straight into a run, but you can stand up and then zoom off.
Yep, that's the plan.
And it's still right behind you. Right behind you. It's just about to bite you. It's still just about to bite you.
Okay. Gonna stop, gonna turn around, gonna nip at it. Fuck it.
Nip at it.
Yup.
Okay, so you can try. Dex Brawl?
Dex Brawl? One moment. Dex 3, Brawl 3, 6 dice, please.
Okay. Okay.
Fucking ones.
Yep. You nip it. Don't really see whether you do any damage. But you're sure you found something with your teeny tiny teeth. And it just bats you with a paw. And over you go flying and rolling. Until you end up back on your feet.
Okay. Stand up. Square off. And I'm a manipulation intimidation.
Give it a
go. 6 dice, please. Because apparently 6 is just the magic number for me today.
You fail.
Fucking once, Jesus.
In fact, you're fairly certain you see a whisker twitch as if they might have thought you were quite cute. You're fairly certain you see this whisker twitch, almost as if the tiger is trying to still be frightening, but finds it actually quite amusing and cute. And then it's looking all scary again, and it biffs you with the paw. You go rolling over and over again.
Can I get 6 dice. Wait, no. Hold on. Can I get 5 dice? Diff 3, I am trying to Quicksilver.
Okay. You're fairly certain you would be able to Quicksilver.
Forward.
You're fairly certain you would be able to Quicksilver.
Okay, he's trying to go at super cat speed.
It's not working. Currently,
Oh,
you're
Jesus.
just a cat.
Oh, Jesus.
Like I said, you're fairly certain you would have Quicksilvered. In fact, you can feel the energy and it just does nothing.
Shit. um,
And the tiger is padding closer again, looking taps, absolutely terrifying.
one moment. Let me check if I even have this ability on my sheet. Because if I do, then I win. Can I get 3 dice, please, at, I guess, standard manipulation subterfuge?
Manipulation subterfuge.
Uh-huh. I'm playing possum.
Playing possum. Okay.
Like, he's going to take off in a run and then kind of just drop as if he just had his heart explode.
Yeah. And the tiger is going to come over. She's going to put one big paw on top of you.
Okay.
And with one of its paws on you, it's going to just start cleaning the other one.
Okay. That was not what I expected. And I don't have Clavscar or anything crazy like that. I don't have a clave on me, for that matter. I don't have a weapon. Wonderful.
And you're currently stuck under a paw that weighs more than you do.
Yeah. He's just gonna kind of lay there.
And the cat's just going to go. The tiger is just going to carry on cleaning its paw. It might move on to its face. It's left the one paw just lying on top of you.
Okay.
And it is clearly quite happily just waiting for something.
Okay. I'll wait till this thing moves on.
Its tail starts to twitch. The kind of twitch that, being feline, you know is a sign of impatience. It very much gives you the idea that it is waiting for something. It's starting to get a bit impatient about it.
Six dice, Dex brawl. That's yes. Oh, there's a 1 in there. Okay, but that is 2 successes. So 1 carryover, 6 damage dice for a bite.
Mm-hmm. So that's 3. You definitely feel like it connects,
Okay.
but it doesn't seem to have much effect.
Does the paw move?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Damn it. Okay. Well, I mean, I am a cat, and cats are liquids. So therefore, I'm going to wiggle my way out and run again.
Just as you're wiggling your way out, the tiger is going to give a big sigh. Very big sigh. Let you go and be chasing you again.
Okay, he's at this point going to square off and turn to the tiger and just rah, rah, rah.
Biff. Roll, 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 roll. Considering
Stand
it's
up.
a big ass tiger,
Yeah,
it certainly could have squished you by now. But all it does
yeah,
is biffing you over and over.
yeah. So he's like,
It's
rah, rah,
terrifying.
rah.
It's terrifying, but if it really wanted to hurt you rather than just being scary as hell, would have done it by now.
So yeah,
Are you
stand up.
still trying to attack it?
Nope.
Okay.
Ain't no point in trying to attack whatever the hell this tiger is.
So what do you do?
Kind of just lay down. Gives a cat sigh.
And at this point, the tiger will just walk over and start licking you clean like the little cub that you are. And as it's licking you clean, it's going to go, you're going to hear in your head, knowing it's the purr of the tiger at the same time.
Okay.
You're going to hear, now, no matter how frightening the lessons are, you're not going to run away from my lessons like you did to Unicorn, are you?
Wow.
And Adam is getting licked clean at this point.
Adam's trying to go back to human.
Sticking in weird directions, exactly like a mother cleaning its baby kitten.
His tail starts twitching. And human? Or trying to human?
Now you can human.
I can human now?
You can human now.
I'm human.
Yep. Not only that, but it seems very much like when you wave there, the entire setting seems to change.
Okay.
As
Where
you
am I?
shift into human, it's still a forest, but it's not a big and scary forest anymore. It's light and green and open, and it's not a tiger there.
Okay.
It's not a tiger. Instead, there is
Does
a
we
woman
have picture?
standing there. Pardon?
Does we have picture?
Yes.
Okay.
Instead, there is a woman standing there.
Okay. Adam's going to look at her. Right. Well, yeah, I don't know you. I don't know why you're here.
You asked for help.
Who are you?
I have many names. Fast is among them. You can use that one for now.
I see. And at that point, he will actually straighten himself.
Pardon?
I said at that point, he will straighten himself up and run his fingers through his hair and try and get that all prettied up.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do for you?
She's going to look you up and down. And unlike the giant tiger and the tiny cougar, where it seemed more motherly, this does seem very vaguely sexual.
Okay. He is probably in jeans and a hoodie with cut off sleeves. So,
You know, it's such a shame.
lots
A
of
lovely
things have
cat
changed.
like you wanting to go and play with the dogs.
I didn't want to play with the dogs. I wanted to play with the foxes.
But you went and got in bed with the dogs.
Mm. Yeah.
And she's going to step closer and run one finger down his jawline to lift his chin up.
He'll kind of go with the motion. And he's keeping an eye on her as much as he can.
So I was told you wanted comfort.
I want to fix everything. I want comfort that everything's going to be okay. There's a lot of things I want.
There is quite the list.
He at this point looks at her. What would you have had me done? Rather than lay with the dogs?
I would have had you embrace what you are. But that is me.
I embrace what I am. I am a whore.
And a cat.
Yeah.
But since you want to learn how to be a good kinfolk, I suppose that is on the list of the many things that I will need to teach you. But first, perhaps we should address soothing the unending pain.
Okay. He has kind of a wary, confused look on his face.
You know where it comes from, don't you?
I am the cause of my own pain.
What a surprise. And she does actually look surprised. It seems you have learned something. But let's make it all the more clear. And she's going to kiss you. And at the same time, everything is going to shift. And suddenly you are somewhere completely different.
Is it somewhere he recognizes?
It isn't,
Okay.
but it feels like he should. It feels like he probably would recognize it, but he doesn't quite. Almost like it's been plucked from his memories somewhere, but not
Okay.
not memories.
Intelligence or perception? No, Ari had a memory roll last night that was wisdom and some other attribute. Intelligence, wisdom, maybe? Because at this point, he's seriously, if he's getting a deja vu feeling, seriously trying to pull it up.
Okay. We'll go with wits.
Just straight wits?
Wits, and I would say enigmas, but you don't have enigmas, do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do. Okay, wits, enigmas.
At least I think I do.
I always get confused about what's on the changeling sheet.
Yes, I do. 3 dice.
3 dice. Nope. Can't quite put your finger on why it seems familiar.
Okay.
That being said, it is a high school.
His eyes kind of widen at the kiss, and he's like looking around.
She's not there. It is a high school, and you can see what looks like Pelagia. Look like a bit of an older version of Pelagia.
Okay.
And and she's talking with a guy over near some of the lockers.
Okay. He's gonna kind of walk up and keep some distance, enough distance to not draw attention, but kind of try and get a better look to make sure that it is his daughter.
Okay. Doesn't seem like anyone is paying attention to you.
Okay. At this point, he's going to go up and try and touch physical items.
You can touch things, but you can't move things.
Okay, cool.
So
then he's going to get like...
If you try and turn the handle, it doesn't move.
Okay, cool. He is at this point going to go up close enough to verify.
Well, given the fact that Pelagia now looks around 17, it's hard to tell. It's hard to be entirely sure, but it does seem like it's her.
Okay.
And the guy that she's talking to has just started making out with her.
His tongue starts to run over one of his canines as he just glares.
Yep, this guy's getting pretty handsy.
Is she doing anything?
She's responding.
Okay.
Yeah, he is getting pretty handsy. She seems mildly reluctant, like she likes him, but she's not entirely comfortable with the groping.
Okay, cool. At that point, Adam's going to do what Adam does. Can I get some dice? 4 dice, please. At, I believe, standard diff for elbowing.
You slam your elbow in, and it does nothing.
He's at this point going to tense his fists and relax them.
The same as if you tried to touch things. You can touch them. You can feel their presence. You cannot affect them in the slightest. The guy has not even noticed you elbowed him.
Okay.
And it kind of stung like when you slam your funny bone on the edge of a door.
Gotcha.
Because you tried elbowing him and it did nothing. Yeah.
He's gonna move around and whisper into Pelagia's ear, because he doesn't seem to be reacting the world to him, and he'll be like, Just say no.
She doesn't seem to hear you
Okay.
in the slightest.
Okay.
In fact, he's kind of taken her by the hand and is kind of nudging her towards an empty and somewhat out the way classroom.
Okay. I'm gonna follow. And do we need to put a black dog denoter on this?
No, we're just going to vaguely phase out this section.
Okay.
Because it's going to end up somewhat montagey at this point. Because this kind of scenario is going to repeat more than once.
Okay.
It's not always the same. Sometimes she's older. Sometimes it's less of that situation, more that whichever guy she is with is being incredibly romantic, and then she's seeing him with someone else. And sometimes it's just a whirlwind thing. All these different scenarios, and in every single one, she ends up upset. Every single one, she ends up upset. Yeah.
Okay. After about, these are gonna go for how long?
It's gonna go for about an hour. Some of them only last about 5 minutes. Some of them last 10 minutes.
Okay.
Sometimes you see like little snippets here and there rather than the whole thing. But yeah, it
Okay.
lasts about an hour before suddenly you're
About 50 minutes in,
Mhm.
he's going to actually draw the warhammer and strike a wall.
Yep. Does nothing to the wall.
Yep. Figured as much.
But at the end of the hour, Adam, it all kind of shifts again, and Adam is in a bed, and the bed is huge. And Adam feels very small, and it's almost, he's not actually in kid form. He's currently normal Adam, but it feels like being a kid in a big bed. And the woman is back, but she's a lot bigger compared to you. And she's tucking you into the bed.
He looks at her. Was that supposed to rattle my cage?
No, it's supposed to make you think. Now it is time for a bedtime story. Hear and attend and listen. For this befell and behappened and became and was, O my best beloved. And the tame animals were wild. The dog was wild, and the horse was wild, and the cow was wild, and the sheep was wild, and the pig was wild as wild could be. And they walked in the wet wild woods by their wild lanes. But the wildest of all the wild animals was the cat. He walked by himself, and all places were alike to him. Of course, the man was wild too. He was dreadfully wild. He didn't even begin to be tame until he met the woman, and she told him that she did not like living in his wild ways. She picked out a nice dry cave instead of a heap of wet leaves to lie down in, and she strewed clean sand on the floor, and she lit a nice fire of wood at the back of the cave, and she hung a dried wild horse skin, tail down, across the opening of the cave, and she said, "Wipe your feet, dear, when you come in, and now we'll keep house." That night, best beloved, they ate wild sheep roasted on the hot stones and flavoured with wild garlic and wild pepper, and wild duck stuffed with wild rice and wild fenugreek and wild coriander, and marrow bones of wild oxen and wild cherries and wild grenadillas. And then the man went to sleep in front of the fire, ever so happy. But the woman sat up, combing her hair. She took the bone of the shoulder of the mutton, the big fat blade bone, and she looked at the wonderful marks on it, and she threw more wood on the fire, and she made a magic. She made the first singing magic in the world. Out in the wet wild woods, all the wild animals gathered together where they could see the light of the fire a long way off, and they wondered what it meant. Then Wild Horse stamped his wild foot and said, "Oh, my friends, and oh, my enemies, why have the man and the woman made that great light in the great cave, and what harm will it do us?" Wild Dog lifted up his wild nose and smelled the smell of roast mutton, and said, "I will go up and see and look and say, for I think it is good." "Cat, come with me." "No," said the cat. "I am the cat who walks by himself, and all places are alike to me. I will not come." "Then we can never be friends again," said Wild Dog, and he trotted off to the cave. But when he had gone a little way, the cat said to himself, "All places are alike to me. Why should I not go too, and see and look and come away at my own liking?" So he slipped after Wild Dog softly, very softly, and hid himself where he could hear everything. When Wild Dog reached the mouth of the cave, he lifted up the dried horse skin with his nose and sniffed the beautiful smell of the roast mutton. And the woman, looking at the blade bone, heard him and laughed and said, "Here comes the first wild thing out of the wild woods. What do you want?" Wild Dog said, "Oh, my enemy and wife of my enemy, what is this that smells so good in the wild woods?" Then the woman picked up a roasted mutton bone and threw it to the Wild Dog and said, "Wild thing out of the wild woods, taste and try." Wild Dog gnawed the bone, and it was more delicious than anything he had ever tasted, and he said, "Oh, my enemy and wife of my enemy, give me another." The woman said, "Wild thing out of the wild woods, help my man to hunt through the day and guard this cave at night, and I will give you as many roast bones as you need." "Ah," said the cat, listening, "this is a very wise woman, but she is not so wise as I am." Wild Dog crawled into the cave and laid his head on the woman's lap and said, "Oh, my friend and wife of my friend, I will help your man to hunt through the day, and at night I will guard your cave." "Ah," said the cat, listening, "that is a very foolish dog." And he went back through the wet wild woods, waving his wild tail and walking by his wild lone. But he never told anybody. When the man waked up, he said, "What is Wild Dog doing here?" And the woman said, "His name is not Wild Dog any more, but the first friend, because he will be our friend for always and always and always. Take him with you when you go hunting." Next night, the woman cut great green armfuls of fresh grass from the water meadows and dried it before the fire, so that it smelt like new-mown hay. And she sat at the mouth of the cave and plaited a halter out of horsehide, and she looked at the shoulder of the mutton bone, at the big, broad blade bone, and she made a magic. She made the second singing magic in the world. Out in the wild woods, all the wild animals wondered what had happened to Wild Dog. And at last Wild Horse stamped his foot and said, "I will go and see and say while Wild Dog has not returned home." "Cat, come with me." "No," said the cat. "I am the cat who walks by himself, and all places are alike to me. I will not come." But all the same he followed Horse very softly and hid himself where he could hear everything. When the woman heard Wild Horse tripping and stumbling on his long mane, she laughed and said, "Here comes the second wild thing out of the wild woods. What do you want?" Wild Horse said, "Oh, my enemy and wife of my enemy, where is Wild Dog?" The woman laughed and said, "Wild thing out of the wild woods, you did not come here for Wild Dog, but for the sake of this good grass." And Wild Horse, tripping and stumbling on his long mane, said, "That is true. Give it to me to eat." The woman said, "Wild thing out of the wild woods, bend your wild head and wear what I give you, and you shall eat the wonderful grass 3 times a day." Ah, said the cat, listening. This is a clever woman, but she is not so clever as I am. Wild Horse bent his wild head, and the woman slipped the plaited white hide halter over it. And Wild Horse breathed on the woman's feet and said, "O my mistress, and wife of my master, I will be your servant for the sake of this wonderful grass." Ah, said the cat, listening, that is a very foolish horse. And he went back through the wet wild woods, waving his wild tail and walking by his wild lone. But he never told anybody. When the man and the dog came back from hunting, the man said, "What is Wild Horse doing here?" And the woman said, "His name is not Wild Horse any more, but the first servant, because he will carry us from place to place for always and always and always. Ride on his back when you go hunting." The next day, with her wild head held high, that her wild horns should not catch in the wild trees, Wild Cow came to the cave. And Cat followed and hid himself just the same as before, and everything happened the same as before, and the cat said the same things as before. And when Wild Cow had promised to give her milk to the woman every day in exchange for the wonderful grass, the cat went back through the wet wild woods, waving his wild tail and walking by his wild lone, just the same as before. But he never told anybody. And when the man and the horse and the dog came home from hunting and asked the same questions as before, the woman said, "Her name is not Wild Cow any more, but the giver of good food. She will give us the warm white milk for always and always and always, and I will take care of her while you and the first friend and the first servant go hunting." The next day, the cat waited to see if anyone went up to the cave, but nobody went. So the cat went there by himself and saw the woman milking the cow, and he saw the light of the cave, and he smelt the smell of the warm white milk, and said, "Oh, my enemy and wife of my enemy, where did Wild Cow go? Wild thing out of the wild woods, go back to the woods again, for I have braided up my hair, and I have put away the magic blade bone, and we have no more need of either friends or servants in our cave." The cat said, "I am not a friend, and I am not a servant. I am the cat who walks by himself, and I wish to come into your cave." Woman said, "Then why did you not come with first friend on the first night?" Cat grew very angry and said, "Has Wild Dog told tales of me?" The woman laughed. "You are the cat who walks by himself, and all places are alike to you. You are neither a friend nor a servant. You have said it yourself. Go away and walk by yourself in all places alike." The cat pretended to be very sorry and said, "Must I never come into the cave? Must I never sit by the warm fire? Must I never drink the warm white milk? You are very wise and very beautiful. You should not be cruel even to a cat." The woman said, "I knew I was wise, but I did not know I was beautiful, so I will make a bargain with you. If I ever say one word in your praise, you may come into the cave. And if you say 2 words in my praise?" "I never shall," said the woman. "But if I say 2 words in your praise, you may sit by the fire in the cave." "And if you say 3 words?" "I never shall," said the woman. "But if I say 3 words in your praise, you may drink the warm white milk 3 times a day for always and always and always." And what do you think the cat did?
I don't know. At this point, he looks very wrapped in the story, very childlike. Like his feet are kind of, up and down, not up and down, but, bouncing as much as they can laying down.
The cat arched his back and sat and let the curtain at the mouth of the cave and the fire at the back of the cave and the milk pots that stand beside the fire. "Remember what my enemy and the wife of my enemy has said." And he went back through the wild woods, waving his wild tail and walking by his wild lone. And he waited until one day, the tiny little upside-down bat that hung inside the cave came to the cat and said, "There is a baby in the cave. He is new and pink and fat and small, and the woman is very fond of him." "Ah," said the cat, "but what is the baby fond of?" "He is fond of things that are soft and tickle," said the bat. "He is fond of warm things to hold in his arms when he goes to sleep. He is fond of being played with. He is fond of all those things." "Ah," said the cat, listening, "then my time has come." And he walked back to the cave in the morning time, when the man and the dog and the horse were hunting, and the woman was busy cooking, and the baby cried and interrupted. So she carried him outside the cave and gave him a handful of pebbles to play with, but still the baby cried. So the cat put out his little paddy paw and patted the baby on the cheek, and it cooed. And the cat rubbed against its fat knees and tickled under its fat chin, and the baby laughed. And the woman heard him and smiled. And the bat, the little upside-down bat that hung in the mouth of the cave, said, "Oh, my hostess, and wife of my host, and mother of my host's son, a wild thing from the wild woods is most beautifully playing with your baby." "A blessing on that wild thing, whoever he may be," said the woman, straightening her back, "for I was a busy woman this morning, and he has done me a service." That very minute and second, best beloved, the dried horse-skin curtain that was stretched tail down at the mouth of the cave fell down, whoosh, because it remembered the bargain she had made with the cat. And when the woman went to pick it up, lo and behold, the cat was sitting quite comfy inside the cave. "Oh, my enemy, and wife of my enemy, and mother of my enemy," said the cat. "It is I, for you have spoken a word in my praise, and now I can sit within the cave for always and always and always. But still, I am the cat who walks by himself, and all places are alike to me." And the woman was very angry, and shut her lips tight, and took up her spinning wheel and began to spin. But the baby cried because the cat had gone away, and the woman could not hush it, for it struggled and kicked and grew black in the face. "Oh, my enemy, and wife of my enemy, and mother of my enemy," said the cat, "take a strand of the thread that you are spinning, and tie it to your spinning wool, and drag it along the floor, and I will show you a magic that shall make your baby laugh as loudly as he is crying now." "I will do so," said the woman, "because I am at my wit's end, but I will not thank you for it." He tied the thread to the little clay spindle wheel and drew it across the floor, and the cat ran after it and patted it with his paws and rolled head over heels and tossed it backwards over his shoulder and chased it behind his hind legs and pretended to lose it and pounced down upon it again until the baby laughed as loudly as he'd been crying and scrambled after the cat and frolicked all over the cave till it grew tired and settled down to sleep with the cat in its arms. "Now," said the cat, "I will sing the baby a song that will keep him asleep for an hour." And he began to purr, loud and low, low and loud, till the baby fell fast asleep. The woman smiled as she looked down upon the two of them and said, "That was wonderfully done. No question, but you are very clever, O cat." And that very minute and second, best beloved, the smoke of the fire at the back of the cave came down in clouds from the roof. Puff! Because it remembered the bargain she had made with the cat, and when it cleared away, lo and behold, the cat was sitting quite comfy close to the fire. "Oh, my enemy, and wife of my enemy, and mother of my enemy," said the cat, "it is I. For you have spoken a second word in my praise, and now I can sit by the warm fire at the back of the cave for always and always and always. But still I am the cat who walks by himself, and all places are alike to me." Then the woman was very angry, and let down her hair, and put more wood on the fire, and brought out the broad blade bone of the shoulder of mutton, and began to make a magic that would prevent her from saying a third word in praise of the cat. It was not a singing magic, best beloved. It was a still magic, and by the cave grew so still that a little wee mouse crept out of the corner and ran across the floor. "Oh, my enemy, and wife of my enemy, and mother of my enemy," said the cat, "is that little mouse part of your magic?" "Oh, no, 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 not indeed," said the woman, and she dropped the blade bone, and jumped upon the footstool in front of the fire, and braided up her hair very quickly, for fear that the mouse should run up it. "Ah," said the cat, watching, "then the mouse will do me no harm if I eat it." "No," said the woman, braiding up her hair. "Eat it quickly, and I will ever be grateful to you." The cat made one jump and caught the little mouse. And the woman said, "100 thanks. Even the first friend is not quick enough to catch little mice as you have done. You must be very wise." That very moment and second, O best beloved, the milk pot that stood by the fire cracked in two pieces, because it remembered the bargain she had made with the cat. And when the woman jumped down from the footstool, lo and behold, the cat was lapping up the warm white milk that lay in one of the broken pieces. "Oh, my enemy, and wife of my enemy, and mother of my enemy, said the cat. It is I, for you have spoken 3 words in my praise, and now I can drink the warm white milk 3 times a day, always and always and always. But still I am the cat who walks by himself, and all places are alike to me. And what have you learned?
Cunning. Cunning is the important thing here. Have a plan. Always have a plan. Because if you have a plan, you can outwit. And if you outwit, you win. And if you win, you are still independent, yet still have the things that you desire.
All those things are true. All those things are good lessons. There is one more, best beloved. And here she strokes his hair in a kind of maternal way.
He actually will, at that, kind of close his eyes and lean into it.
Never did the cat stop being who he was. And everything he did, all the things that made the woman like him, were part of him.
He'll nod at this.
Now, I know that your question was how to be a good dog. But perhaps you have another question now.
The question isn't how to be a good dog, because I'm not a dog. The question in all this is how to be a good cat in a world full of dogs.
And foxes.
Yes, and he actually smiles fondly at that. Foxes.
They are also very good
What would you do?
at going where they would like to go.
Hmm?
I would want to understand more about why. Why the playful kitten is not suited to the serious fox. Would you like to know a secret?
He smiles at this. I always like secrets. Hold on. Okay, cool. Sorry, semi-passing. I always like secrets. Secrets give you power.
They do. I'm not sure you'll enjoy learning this one,
Okay.
but it is one I think you'll appreciate. And here she'll kiss him on the forehead. And they'll have a feeling of falling. Almost like when you're falling asleep and you get that falling feeling and then you jerk awake.
Yup, he's trying to jerk awake.
Yep, and he does. He's not in the bed anymore.
Okay, where is he?
He is at a graveyard.
Is it a graveyard he recognizes?
No, it looks like a Chinese graveyard, but it's not
Okay.
one that he has personally been to yet. It might be in Hong Kong, it might be elsewhere. But across the road from the graveyard, you can see a load of shops, as well as the usual ones that are near the graveyard that sell a lot of grave goods for sacrificing. There are also a lot of shops across the road, and there are hearts everywhere.
He covers his mouth at this point and looks around.
It looks very much like the lead up to Valentine's Day. You know, when all the Valentine stuff is in the shops, and there's roses for sales and there's chocolate for sale, and there is a small girl and what looks like her mother,
Okay.
And they're walking into the graveyard.
He's gonna follow. Is it again the real world does not interact with him?
Yep.
Okay.
And
He's just going to follow, just covering his mouth, whispering, no, 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 no,
this girl
no,
isn't
no, no.
Pelagia, then.
Yeah.
Definitely not Pelagia.
I'm pretty sure he's already connected to where he's at and what he's at. No, 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 no. No, no, no. And he's walking, repeating the word no over and over and just covering his mouth.
And there is a big grave, and the mother and the daughter both kneel down and are praying, but you can't understand what they're saying.
Is it
Despite
not in
the fact that
Cantonese?
it's in Cantonese.
Say what?
Despite the fact that it sounds vaguely like Cantonese, it also sounds vaguely not.
Okay. I'm going to look at the headstone
The
or the
headstone,
thing that they're praying at.
yeah. The headstone says Jinling, respected husband and father.
Okay.
Not what you were expecting, right?
Not at all what I was expecting. Okay.
And the mother is crying, and the daughter seems to be trying to comfort her fairly awkwardly. The daughter looks about 4 or 5. They're both Chinese.
Okay.
And the mother pats the daughter on the head. You're a good girl, Zhu. I wish we could do something better for your birthday, but I need to remember him. And then you're going to wake up in the bed.
He'll just for a minute take in what he's just seen and kind of rub his hands together. What was the point of that? And he closes his eyes at this point.
You want to know how to be with the fox and why she doesn't appreciate the kitten in you. Now you see what happened to the kit in her.
So what would you do if you were me now? Let's say you're me and I'm me. What do you do?
Help her trust in love. She'll never trust love if she continues to associate it with the death of those around her. and she'll never trust in the safety in loving you if she continues to believe that you're a danger to yourself and those around you. Help her learn to trust. And don't make a big deal about Valentine's Day.
He kind of smiles at that.
So, what do you feel you have learned so far?
I've learned I'm walking down a very long road. The choices I've made in life have led me to not an impasse, but a very steep mountain to climb.
You know, one thing that cats are very good at?
Climbing.
Your nod. So, how are you going to deal with my brother?
Your brother.
Unicorn.
Mm. That is a quandary I find myself in. I wasn't leaving to leave him.
Well, he had 3 lessons for you. He had 3 lessons for you. You needed
Yes.
to apologize to learn about the impact of your actions on others. You needed to show respect to learn the value of consideration in the future. And you needed to appreciate purity, regain the purity of your heart. So, considering my story, how do you think you'll go about these 3 tasks?
In a word, thoughtfully.
Very good. Oh, and as much as I do approve of the fox, she does have a touch of the cunning to her. She's not the person the unicorn was looking for you to appreciate.
Oh.
True love and pure love are not necessarily the same thing. Remember, it's a unicorn.
Yeah. Wait. Wait. Pure love. Wait, that wasn't what he said.
Oh, he definitely did. But at the
And at
time,
this, he sits up. What?
he definitely did. And it's what you were told. But perhaps you weren't ready to learn.
Still not.
I think perhaps you might be ready to return now. Perhaps. But before you go, I'm going to give you 2 small gifts. And she's going to kind of gesture over towards one side, and out of the shadows, a teeny tiny little blue kitten will emerge and make its way over to jump onto the bed.
He'll reach over and pet it.
And it's going to purr and let you pet it for a bit. It's going to let you pet it precisely 3 times. Precisely 3. And then it is going to shrink into a small bluish opal with a cat design carved into it.
He'll pick it up.
Do give that to the fox for me.
He'll take a look at it.
Yes, do give that to the fox for me.
Okay.
This, on the other hand, is yours to keep, just to remind you, should you need reminding. And she's going to tap him on the shoulder. There'll be a very brief feeling of heat. Not quite painful, but just like if it had been there for a second longer, it would have really hurt or stung or burned. But it's just that flash. Like when you open an oven. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But because you're wearing long, are you wearing long sleeves, or did you say that off?
Oh, he's sleeveless.
Okay. And while you're turning to look at what has, presumably you're turning to look at what has happened to your arm.
Yeah.
You get that horrible falling sensation again. And you feel like you're smashing through glass. And this time it does hurt a lot. Up to this point, everything has felt almost dreamlike and not quite real. And even the pain hasn't really felt that painful.
Okay.
This feels real. And you feel like you're falling through pane after pane of glass.
Okay. He's gonna like grip the opal and use his arms to kind of like cover his face. So that way, whatever does happen, his head is still relatively okay.
And at some point, he's going to have he's going to be really badly cut up, but he lands on something soft. And that is where I'm going to end the scene.